And so you keep observing what is, which you don't want, which causes you to launch more rockets, but you don't line up with it. But you keep observing what is, which causes you to launch more rockets, but you don't line up with it. So the crevasse, the variance, the gap between where you are and who you've become gets stronger and stronger. And that's that tension that you are defining as rage. You got to turn in the direction of what you want. And we want to help you do that by convincing you that you can have all of that. You've just got to let go of the conversations about it not happening.
I want to talk about fear, the negativity that comes out of fear. It seems to me that that's the basis for us leaving the vortex, whether it's scarcity.
It's not the basis for leaving the vortex, it's the indicator once you've left.
Okay.
In other words, fear or any emotion is an indicator of your mix of vibration. So, for example, who you really are is confident and sure. Who you really are is a lover. So when you focus upon something that causes you to vibrate differently than that, the feeling of fear or any negative emotion is your indicator that you're off your beam. That's all it is. In other words, fear has no power. It just indicates your point of attraction.
You take that fear, and then what people do is they lie. They lose themselves. They don't want to face that fear, so they might make a self-rationalization up. Or that if it's scarcity, they might want to steal something or lie to somebody. And I think it's pretty common today in society that people tell lies all the time.
Well, we encourage that.
You do. I understand the kind of lie you're talking about. I'm talking about the kind of lie where they lose themselves because they don't want to look at themselves because they see the contrast and it's too much for them.
Well, it's interesting as we hear you, because while you have observed and come to some opinions, the basis of your opinion is a little out of whack. Your conclusions are not inaccurate, but how you got there isn't serving you very well. So we like to begin by saying that anytime you feel any emotion that is less than good feeling, it means that you're looking at something in a different way than the source within you is looking. And you're right that so many people are not using their guidance system in any way that really guides them, because almost from the beginning you come into this physical experience and your mother or someone is holding you as her object of attention, and she lets you know, conditional lover that she is, almost all, pretty early on, that if you do things that please her, she will smile and reward, and if you do things that don't please her, she will frown and punish. And so, without meaning to, she's very well meaning, but she trains you away from your awareness of your own guidance system. So you're right, you lose your sense of where you are. We just want you to know that every time contrast causes you to expand, that new and improved version of you is calling you to it. And if you don't go, you're not going to feel good. So every time you feel negative emotion, no matter what the circumstances are around you, and no matter who's watching you or scrutinizing you or evoking a lie from you, in every single case, the reason you don't feel good is because who you really are is over there, and who you're being is over here. You're not keeping up to you. There's a vibrational gap between you and you. And when there is a vibrational gap between you and you, a lot of people just flail around trying all kinds of different things. They try to fill that void by drinking, by using drugs, by lying, by stealing, by buying one more thing and bringing it home. In other words, but nothing fills the void other than alignment with who you are. And so we could write endless books. There have been millions of books written on behavioral sciences in the fields of psychology and human interaction about why people behave the way they do. And really, there's only one simple, very simple answer. People behave the way they do if it's a negative behavior because they can't stand the trauma of not being in alignment with who they are. It's much simpler than any of us are making it out to be. When we come back from segment of refreshment, I'd like to go a little further with you if you're willing, because you've thought a lot about this, and you have some life experiences that we could play off of just a little bit, and we want to show you how infinitely very much simpler all of this is than it sounds from the framework that you are laying out here. This isn't hard. It really isn't hard, but you've got to start with the right basis. These laws of the universe are really consistent, and when you understand just a handful of things, when you get it that there are two vibrational aspects and they're playing off of one another, and you get it that you've expanded and that you can feel when you're moving in the direction of your expansion and when you're not, when you get that, and then you put in this one important factor, that you care enough about how you feel to at least try to lean in the direction of who you are, then everything else is simple. We want you to get to the place where you don't give a rip what anybody else thinks. We want you to reach the place where you would never feel the need to tell a lie to anyone in order to try to preserve their positive opinion of you, because their positive opinion of you is worthless to you.